This is a fascinating case, I think. Reading from The Guardian, a jury on Thursday found a delivery driver not guilty in the shooting of a YouTube prankster who followed him around a mall food court earlier this year. Alan Colley, 31, was acquitted of aggravated malicious wounding in the shooting of Tanner Cook, 21, who runs the Classified Goons YouTube channel. The jury was split on two lesser firearm counts and decided to convict him on one and acquit him on the other. The shooting on April 2nd at the food court in Dulles Town Center, about 45 minutes west of the nation's capital, set off panic as shoppers fled what they feared to be a mass shooting. Colley pleaded not guilty and said he was acting in self-defense. The verdict came on Thursday after about 5 hours of deliberation. 3 hours in, the jury sent out a note saying it was divided in terms of whether the defendant acted in self-defense. The Loudoun County Circuit Court Judge Matthew Snow called the jury back into the courtroom at approximately 3:30 p.m. and urged them to continue deliberations. And then they came down with the verdict at the end of that day. Colley, who's been in custody since his April arrest, will remain incarcerated. Adam Polliard, his defense attorney, said during Thursday's closing arguments his client felt menaced by the 6'5" Cook during the confrontation, which was designed to provoke a reaction and to draw viewers to Cook's YouTube channel. Okay, so Colley was acquitted of the more serious charge, still convicted of the lesser charge. And that part makes no sense, because if you buy his self-defense claim, if you buy that claim, so you're acquitting him of the malicious wounding charge, then it makes no logical sense to convict him of the firearms charge. If he's justified in using self-defense, then it's like basically you're saying he's justified in shooting the guy, but not justified in discharging the firearm, which that logically it makes no sense. But juries do this all the time now, where they kind of split the baby in a way that makes no logical sense at all, so that at the end of it, you're trying to figure out what their theory of the case even is, and there isn't one. And his lawyers will, of course, try to appeal the conviction on the lesser count. I think ultimately, they're going to win that argument just because of it. The verdict doesn't make sense. Either his self-defense claim was legitimate or not. And if it's not a legitimate claim, then he should have been convicted of the malicious wounding charge. He wasn't, which means that the jury found it legitimate, and so there should be no conviction of anything. So the question is, should he have been acquitted of the more serious charge or of all the charges? I believe absolutely yes, he should have. He should have been acquitted. He should be acquitted of everything, and he should walk free. He should be walking free right now. He shouldn't be in jail at all. And I've been arguing about this on Twitter, and which is always a productive thing to do. And lots of people are mad at me, and they disagree. Even people who profess to be big supporters of the Second Amendment. I've heard a lot. There's been a lot of that. I'm a big Second Amendment person, but you're way off on this. This person was totally wrong. Well, let's watch the video that this YouTube prankster, quote unquote, took, where we can see the whole thing, and this is what the prank, quote unquote, consisted of. And I'm going to show you everything leading up to when the shot was fired, because that's the important part. The actual shot itself, if I play that, then the violence, and they'll take down the video and everything. So you can go and find the actual shot itself if you want to find it. But here you can see what led up to him ultimately pulling out his gun and firing. Let's watch that.
What?
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
What's that mean?
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
No.
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
Get out of my face and fuck off, son. Stop.
Quit thinking about my twinkle.
Stop.
And then right there, he's about to pull the trigger. So that's the prank, the hilarious prank. The prank is that this large, massive guy, we just heard 6'5", and the other guy I don't know how tall the other guy is, but quite a bit smaller than that. So this massive guy comes up, starts weirdly and ominously harassing a random DoorDash driver. He's just trying to pick up some food and deliver it to a customer. DoorDash, I don't know what service he's driving for, but he's delivering food. And this guy comes up and he's got his phone out and he's like it's repeating this weird phrase, and he's putting it in Colley's face, and he keeps pursuing him, getting very, very close to him, and Colley's backing away, and he says, "Stop," 3 times. Says stop 3 times. He's trying to get away. He's trying to leave. It's not like he's trying to leave the situation. He's being pursued. And after the 3rd warning, he takes out the gun and he shoots him. And some people have taken issue with it because when he took out the gun, he took out the gun and he did, after taking out the gun, he just fired it immediately. He didn't take out the gun and say, I'm warning you. He didn't warn a 4th time after taking out the gun. He just shot. And I think it's totally justified. I have no problem with that. He had every right to assume that Cook meant him harm because he had no context. Okay, he didn't know that Cook was some stupid, dumb oaf YouTuber who was doing this as a prank. Okay, he's not, like, put yourself in that position. This happens, you're not immediately, you're not thinking, this is a YouTube prank. You're not thinking that. I mean, you're thinking, why is this massive guy coming after me? What is he doing? And he's got this blank expression on his face, and he's just got, like, you think, obviously you're going to assume that he's crazy. He's like some psycho. And he means you harm. If I was in that exact situation, I would immediately assume that he meant me harm. That's what I would assume. And that would be a safe assumption. It's a fair assumption. And it's an assumption that I believe we have every right to make. And the benefit of the doubt in that scenario has to go entirely to Kali, not to the guy who initiated the confrontation to begin with. So for me, not only would I say that Kali was justified in shooting him, but to me, it's like clear as day. There's not even anything. I know I said it's a fascinating case. It's actually not even that interesting to me. I saw that video. I was like, of course shoot him. Go ahead. Like, don't go up to someone harassing them like that in this ominous way. They tell you to stop and you keep going after him. Don't do that. You don't want to get shot. Just don't do that. It's very easy. It's very easy to not get shot in that situation. Just don't do that. And calling it a prank doesn't all of a sudden make it okay. Could Kali try that? Could he shoot him and say, no, dude, no, bro, it's just a prank. Shoot him in the stomach, which is what he did. And then what if he had just stood over him and said, just a prank, bro, don't worry about it. Just a prank. Look, you're on camera. See, you're on YouTube. Don't worry, it's just a prank. No, calling it a prank doesn't suddenly make everything okay. But this is what we find, these clout chasers on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Of course, the infamous example of the guy on TikTok who does home invasion. He walks into people's homes as part of a prank. For most homeowners, window replacement isn't something they've done before, and for many, it's not something they really want to do, but rather something they have to do. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, I have great news for you. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen. Renewal by Andersen's signature service is committed to giving you the best customer service and experience possible through the perfect combination of the best people in the industry, a superior process, and an exclusive product. Right now, Renewal by Andersen is offering a free in-home or virtual consultation on durable quality, affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. All you have to do is text Walsh to 200-300 for your free consultation to save $375 off every window and $750 off every door. These savings won't last long, so be sure to check it out by texting Walsh to 200-300. That's Walsh to 200-300. Texting, privacy policy, and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates apply. Reply STOP to opt out. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details. This is not a prank. This home invasion, harassment. These are crimes you're committing. And I think people have every right to respond. And I also think, look, I admit that when I look at a case like this, I am not an entirely unbiased observer, I suppose. I am very much biased in favor of the person who feels that they're being threatened and has to defend themselves. I'm going to be biased in their favor. Now, it's one thing. Look, if that had happened, and then the guy, the YouTuber, says, it's just a prank, and he kind of like starts walking away, and then Kali is just mad. He gets pissed off that he was harassed, and he walks up to the guy and shoots him. Okay, well, now it's murder. So that's a totally different scenario. We're not talking about that I'm saying that if you carry a gun that you should have licenses, kill whoever you want. If you're pissed off, you can just kill someone. Obviously not. But what I'm saying is that in that moment where someone is confused, they don't know what you're doing, they feel threatened, I'm going to give a lot of leeway personally. I think we should be giving a lot of leeway to the person who is feeling threatened and who also is not the one who initiated the confrontation. And I also think that on a societal level, because I know there's always this worry about, it's going to become the Wild West, and never mind that in the Wild West, actually, oftentimes the gun laws were quite harsh, and there were many towns you go into, you're not even allowed to bring your firearm in. But it's going to be the Wild West. People are just shooting all over the place. That's the concern. I don't think that is the concern. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the concern is more the situation we currently have in society, where you've got these thugs and these punks who have no compunction, they have no fear. They'll just go up, they'll harass you, they'll assault you, they'll do whatever, with no fear at all. No fear of the legal consequences, and especially no fear of the physical consequences in the moment. I think it is good and healthy in a society for people to fear for their lives before deciding to victimize or harass someone. I think it's a sign of a healthy society. If you're about to harass someone randomly for clicks, and then you stop and say to yourself, I don't know if I want to do that. I might die. I might die if I do that. That's a healthy society, where you have to take those kinds of things into consideration. And then if you're not insane, you'll probably say to yourself, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I think I'll just be a normal person instead. And I'll leave this person alone, and I'll let them make their delivery, and I'll go about my day, and that'll be it. Okay, a healthy society, to me, is one where people are incentivized to make healthy choices and to be just normal, well-adjusted, contributing members of society. If you are incentivized in that direction, and there are strong disincentives to be a burden, to be a leech, to be just a punk, a thug, that to me is healthy. Which is why I think we should be very, very generous to people like Colley in that situation, which the jury almost was, if not for the ridiculous splitting the baby bit there at the end. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.